If we were to place a Tyrannosaurus Rex into the modern Amazon rainforest, how many days do you think it could survive? The answer might be far more brutal than you could ever imagine. Day 1. The sky over the Amazon remains unchanged. Birds and wildlife glide through the endless canopy of the deep green jungle. Everything operates in perfect natural order, as if the river of time had never been interrupted. Yet, deep within this loud and dense rainforest, an aura of death silently spreads. Countless creatures hide in the shadows, quietly observing an outsider. A monster from 66 million years ago is clumsily stepping into this perilous, forbidden zone. What challenges will it face, and what will be the fate of this ancient king? Let's look back at history. The T-Rex's primeval home consisted of vast, open, and arid plains, environments tailor-made for it through millions of years of evolution. The Amazon rainforest, by contrast, is a completely different world, humid, claustrophobic, and isolated. It is an unfamiliar latitude the beast has never known. The cramped spaces and chaotic noise overwhelm the ancient predator, leaving its primitive brain unable to form a cognitive map of its surroundings. With its very first step, its massive weight crushes a century-old tree trunk. The thunderous crack echoes for kilometers, sending flocks of jungle birds fleeing into the sky in sheer panic. The T-Rex's colossal body is an absolute energy-devouring machine. Even standing completely still, it requires a staggering 4,000 calories a day just to maintain basic functions. Driven by survival, it quickly spots its first hunting target. By a small stream, a 60-kilogram mammal is drinking water, entirely off guard. The T-Rex instantly locks onto the subtle movement. For a moment, time seems to freeze. In its own era, once a prey was targeted, it meant a definitive death sentence. Escape was impossible. The hunt is lightning fast. Just 3 steps, 4 seconds of tracking, and the entire 8-minute ordeal is over. Its lethal jaws were engineered to crush bones, not to delicately shred meat into bite-sized pieces. On paper, this was a perfect hunt. Yet, reality is unforgiving. That 60-kilogram prey satisfies less than 1/3 of its daily energy requirements. And that is when the ancient king learns its very first lesson in the Amazon. Here, massive size is never an advantage. It is a fatal flaw. Day 2. The rainforest begins to activate its invisible predatory grid. Without the need for fierce or bloody confrontations, the Amazon dismantles its enemies through the sheer environment itself. The T-Rex is a homeothermic animal, relying on open, breezy air to dissipate body heat. In the windswept plains of the prehistoric world, its cooling efficiency was incredibly high. The Amazon, however, is the exact opposite. The dense canopy layers trap the warm air, sending humidity soaring to 88%. The air is stifling, hot, and completely stagnant. By noon, the T-Rex's core body temperature has spiked past critical limits. Severe heat stroke sets in, and its heavy, labored breathing echoes through the thick undergrowth. Perched on the canopy 30 meters above the dinosaur's shoulders, a 95-kilogram adult jaguar watches calmly. This is the apex predator of a 50-square-kilometer territory. It hunts caimans, constricts giant anacondas, and fears virtually nothing. Right now, it remains motionless. The law of the Amazon hunt is hidden in patience and camouflage. The true killer never reveals itself beforehand. The prehistoric giant possesses unmatched raw power, but it is too loud and lacks the wisdom of the jungle. The jaguar quietly observes the oblivious T-Rex as the colossus slowly lumbers beneath its paws. Day 3. The oppressive heat and gnawing hunger have completely broken the T-Rex. Its muscles begin to cramp, and its movements grow sluggish and heavy. In sheer desperation, it finally catches the scent of water. But the ruler of this aquatic realm is a 5-meter-long southern green anaconda, weighing 80 kilograms, who has dominated these waters for over a decade. Faced with a creature many times its size, this modern Amazonian resident has never encountered such a formidable opponent in all of its evolutionary history. Nevertheless, the outcome holds no suspense. The giant snake is bitten to death by the riverbank. Under the absolute disparity of physical size, the T-Rex takes control of the water after a brief clash. But in the Amazon, no creature can survive on solitary strength alone. Its ancient, solitary way of life has completely failed against this interconnected ecosystem. Day 4. The titanic frame, rippling muscles, and thick hide that once allowed the T-Rex to dominate the ancient world are now utterly useless. This is because its truest, most lethal enemies are invisible, leaving it with no way to counterattack. The Amazon holds the highest density of blood-sucking insects on Earth, with over 2,000 mosquito species per square kilometer, alongside millions of blackflies and midges. The vulnerable skin around the T-Rex's eyes, its nasal passages, and the soft underbelly are relentlessly assaulted by swarms of flying insects. Within days, thousands of parasites attach themselves to its body, greedily draining its blood. The T-Rex's primitive nervous system cannot even perceive these minuscule bites. This silent assault and continuous drain of energy are steadily driving the beast into a fatal crisis. Day 10, the climax of the dark days. Exhausted both mentally and physically, the T-Rex finally encounters a true titan of the Amazon waters, the black caiman. This is the only predator in the rainforest capable of standing up to the dinosaur's primal strength. Even giant anacondas actively avoid its territory. Weighing 500 kilograms, this black caiman possesses the second strongest bite force in the modern animal kingdom, powerful enough to crush the bones of a bull. It accurately senses that the bizarre monster before it has long been weakened and no longer poses a threat. Seizing the perfect moment, the caiman lunges from the depths, clamping its jaws tightly onto the T-Rex's right leg. The caiman believes it has won, but it fails to realize that even a dying giant is still a giant. The black caiman pays for its arrogance with its life, but before it dies, its death grip tears several deep, bone-exposing gashes into the T-Rex leg. In the prehistoric era, such a wound might heal within 2 weeks. But under the torrential rains and muddy waters of the Amazon, an open wound is an open invitation. Modern, aggressive pathogens like Streptococcus and dozens of other microbial strains, honed over millions of years of evolution to break down living tissue, instantly invade the wound. The T-Rex's immune system stalls completely. 66 million years ago, it had never exposed itself to these evolved strains of bacteria. Its body possesses absolutely no antibodies to fight back. By noon the next day, the wound turns severely red, swollen, and purulent. Sepsis silently spreads through its bloodstream. Yet, driven by pure survival instinct, it continues to stumble forward in search of food, entirely unaware that its biological machinery is critically failing. Meanwhile, every creature within a 20-kilometer radius has recognized the danger. Herds of capybaras begin to migrate, changing their watering paths. Even native caimans move en masse upstream. Every potential prey alters its trajectory to avoid the T-Rex. After dozens of hours of hunting, the ancient king manages to catch only a juvenile capybara weighing a meager 1.5 kilograms, while its daily energy expenditure has surged to 45,000 calories. Due to fighting off infections, its caloric intake for the day is under 2,000. A daily energy deficit of 25,000 calories creates a fatal doom loop. Starvation leads to muscle atrophy. Physical decline slows down its movements, which in turn continues to slash its hunting success rate. Once nature's deficit loop is locked, it is nearly impossible to reverse. Suddenly, a violent downpour slams into the Amazon. In just 2 hours, the river swells rapidly, breaching alarm levels and flooding the terrain. Even the shallows the T-Rex used to rest and cool turn into treacherous deep waters. This is the 10th day since its arrival. Without warning, its limbs suddenly buckle, no longer able to support its colossal frame. The systemic infection has completely hijacked its circulation. Racked by a persistent high fever, parasitic drain, and prolonged starvation, its internal organs fail in rapid succession. In just 10 short days, the tables have turned completely. Before this, it walked the rainforest like an invincible king, forcing jaguars to yield and crushing the skulls of caimans. But now its defeat has long been set in stone. The rules of survival in the Amazon rainforest have never favored brute strength alone. The extreme, suffocating heat, the unpredictable weather, the microscopic lethal bacteria, and the unfettered energy void. These multiple layers of invisible shackles have firmly locked down the prehistoric monster. It was the most perfect apex predator of antiquity, mighty, domineering, and peerless. But the ancient world it ruled has been gone for 66 million years. The Earth has long evolved a completely new ecosystem and a new set of rules. The Amazon rainforest has thrived for millions of years and will continue to flourish for thousands more. This planet has long grown accustomed to a world without the Tyrannosaurus Rex. The prehistoric overlord's return through time, in the end, is nothing more than a tragic mismatch, an uninvited guest with